Hello, and welcome to Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Daniel Pineda. We have a great program this week. We have our news stories, community bulletin board, and 55 plus news. But first, a social media reminder. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also on Facebook and WERA 96.7 FM. And now on to our first news story for this week. The Virginia Department of Health page provided the following data. For the Arlington District, as of December 6, 2022, reported cases over all time, 60,887. This is 273 more all-time reported cases than last week's total of 60,598. As for vaccinations, the Virginia Department of Health site shows that 206,047 people over the age of 5 have received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine as of December 6th. This is an increase of 28 over the previous week's 206,019 vaccinations. Based on this data, more people are getting sick than are getting vaccinated. As noted on previous weeks, the Arlington County Public Health Division's COVID-19 vaccination clinic will permanently close on Saturday, December 17th, 2022. Visit vaccines.gov for appointments through pharmacies and other medical providers in and around Arlington County. Also, the Arlington Mill Community Center Curative COVID-19 testing kiosks will close on December 24th, 2022. You can find testing locations convenient to you by visiting VDH's test site locator. Get tested if you have symptoms of COVID-19 before large gatherings and after spending time in a crowd. Learn more about the county's COVID-19 response at arlingtonva.us/COVID-19. A new Silver Diner is set to open this month in Ballston, but it's essentially just a relocation of its Clarendon restaurant, which is set to close after 26 years. The new Silver Diner location is at North Leeb Road and Wilson Boulevard next to the Ballston Target store. Service is set to start around Wednesday, December 14th. The new location will be about 1 mile away from the existing Clarendon Diner. The 6,700 square foot space will have a full bar and 244 seats, with 191 seats located indoors and 68 seats on an outdoor patio, which will be open seasonally. There will be 100 parking spots free with a 2-hour validation. The restaurant will have similar hours to the Clarendon location, opening at 7 a.m. and closing between midnight and 3 a.m. 7 days a week. The Ballston Silver Diner was first announced in 2017, but a planned summer opening was delayed because of supply chain and staffing problems. The opening roughly coincides with the closure of the Silver Diner in Clarendon between Wilson Boulevard and North Irving. The closure will make way for a new development that is expected to include a hotel, gymnasium, and a 286-unit residential building. A Silver Diner spokesperson said the purpose behind moving only a mile away was to maintain Silver Diner's neighborhood presence in Arlington. According to the restaurant's website, the Clarendon staff will be transferred to the Ballston location. The plan is essentially to shut down the old location, walk down the street, and open the new location. From an environmental standpoint, the simple relocation of a single-story restaurant is less significant than its replacement with a much larger, multi-story structure with far greater population density.
Here is a reminder about Arlington County's leaf collection schedule. The remaining second pass schedule for runs in December is as follows. From December 17th through 21st, Bellevue Forest, Donaldson Run, Gulf Branch Country Club Hills, Maywood, Old Glebe, Rock Springs, Williamsburg, and Woodmont. A reminder, only report a missed route after it has been labeled as completed on the progress map. Then call 703-228-5000. Remember that unscheduled leaf vacuum trucks at times may conduct cleanup in neighborhoods between passes. Next up, Christmas tree collection will take place from January 2nd through January 13th, 2023. Discarded trees should be placed at the curb no later than 6 o'clock a.m. on regular trash collection days. All decorations, nails, and stands must be removed, and trees should not be placed in plastic bags. We do regret any anxiety this announcement causes for those who have planned but not yet obtained their Christmas tree. Now that we have moved well into December, this is a good time for a discussion of snow business in Arlington. That's snow business, not show business. First of all, it's worth noting that Arlington snow removal trucks only plow Arlington streets when there's an accumulation of 2 inches or more. Plowing anything less would damage road services and equipment. Also, Arlington snow operations involve multiple departments as well as external partners, making for a force of several hundred people working in shifts to maintain core services. A winter weather alert for snow, ice, or freezing rain sets crews in motion according to an established set of pre-treatment and removal phases. The county is responsible for clearing 1,059 miles of road, 350 bus shelters and stops, 35 miles of sidewalks in shared public areas, 21 bridges and overpasses, 10 miles of trails with the Department of Parks and Recreation, and 7.4 miles of protected bike lanes. The county will often use its recently upgraded brine pre-treatment system and possibly salt, depending on the timing of the oncoming storm. Initial rains can make things complicated. Arlington follows Virginia's salt management strategy to minimize the effects of brine and salt on the region's watershed. Real-time loading data and improved calibration technology make deployment of brine and salt more efficient and effective. Arlington also treats high-volume trails with the same priority and response time as primary arterial streets. As for residents, the county's snow removal ordinance requires all property owners to clear snow and ice from public sidewalks adjacent to their property within 24 hours after the end of a storm for snowfalls of less than 6 inches, or within 36 hours for snowfalls greater than 6 inches. There are other ways that citizens can help. Coordinate with neighbors to park your car on one side of the street, where feasible, or avoid on-street parking on narrow roads so that plow operators can efficiently clear a wider span of roadway. Do not park head-in on cul-de-sacs so that you can allow plows more room to maneuver. Clear sidewalks, fire hydrants, and storm drains, tossing snow toward buildings and not in the street. However, wait for plows to come before clearing snow from the front of driveways to minimize the amount pushed back by plows. Stay home or use mass transit to reduce the number of potentially stranded vehicles. Apply only the recommended minimum of chemical de-icers on sidewalks and driveways. And finally, stay connected through the county's snow and ice page and Department of Environmental Services social media platforms for updates on snow phases, transportation, trash collection, and other important notifications. Finally, in the news, here is a brief transportation update. Engineers have closed the pedestrian bridge connecting North Fairfax Drive to Fort Myer Drive over Arlington Boulevard, effective immediately, as a result of a bridge inspection that took place on December 8th, out of an abundance of caution. Pedestrian access over Arlington Boulevard will be maintained on the Rhodes Street Bridge to the west and North Meade Street to the east. The restrictions will stay in place until further notice. The Arlington Boulevard multi-use trail will remain open on the north side of the bridge. Crews had been conducting maintenance work on the bridge's surface. An inspection revealed deterioration of the concrete in some sections of the bridge, so the bridge will be temporarily closed while crews work on these repairs. That's enough news for this week. Now it's time for Community Bulletin Board, or CBB.
Hi, and welcome to CBB. Our first CBB event is called Winter Solstice Hike. It's for kids aged 7 to 12. The kids will hike to the Potomac and back to enjoy the shortest day of the year. They'll get moving to shake off winter's chill and discover what makes this day so special. Of course, they will need to dress for the weather. The event is free, but registration is required. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. For more information, call Hallie Johnson at 703-228-3403. That's on Wednesday, December 21st, from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m., starting at Gulf Branch Nature Center, 3608 North Military Road. Our next event is called Pre-K Animal Tracks. As the name suggests, this program is for young children aged 3 to 5. Preschool programs are offered throughout the year at both Gulf Branch and Long Branch Nature Centers. The theme for preschool programs is repeated during the month, so please register for only one session at each nature center per month. Caretakers must stay with their child during the program. Registration is required. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. For more information, call Hallie Johnson at 703-228-3403. That's on Thursday, December 22nd, from 11 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock noon at Gulf Branch Nature Center, 3608 North Military Road. Our next event is for families. It's called Winter Night Stargazing. You'll look for stars and planets with telescopes and hear a story about a constellation while gazing up at the winter night sky. Be sure to dress warmly. Bring binoculars and a picnic blanket if you have them. The program will be canceled if it's raining. Registration is required. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. For more information, call Barbara Farley at 703-228-6535. That's on Thursday, December 22nd, from 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. at Fort C. F. Smith Park, 2411 24th Street North. Our final CBB event is for families, and it's another campfire. This one's called New Moon Campfire. The whole family is invited to join in at the Gulf Branch Fire Ring for lots of old-fashioned fun. This engaging program will be filled with entertaining activities that may include stories, special animal guests, games, songs, and, of course, s'mores. They'll provide the marshmallows, chocolate, and graham crackers at a cost of $5. Registration is required. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. For more information, call Hallie Johnson at 703-228-3403. And that's on Friday, December 23rd, from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. at Gulf Branch Nature Center, 3608 North Military Road. Now it's time for 55 Plus News.
Howdy, and welcome to 55 Plus News. Our first event is another 55 Plus walk. Stay active with friendly walking companions. You'll explore nearby trails and neighborhoods in a safe, socially distant manner. Destinations may be changed or excursions canceled for inclement weather. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. You'll need to get the exact meetup location, but this one will be in the Del Rey neighborhood. The activity number is 912-106-03, and that's on Wednesday, December 21st from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Our next event is a cooking demonstration. Winter is just about here, and that means the return of some delicious seasonal flavors. Join Virginia Cooperative Extension Master Food volunteers to learn fun new ways to use your favorite winter ingredients and get some tasty recipe ideas for the holidays. This time, it'll be all about cooking with sage. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 912-501-02, and that's on Wednesday, December 21st from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. at Arlington Mill Community Center, 909 South Dinwiddie Street. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Our next event is called Winter Solstice. Join park naturalists from Gulf Branch Nature Center for an introduction to the winter solstice. This shortest day of the year has been significant in human cultures for centuries. Let's get together to learn about what the solstice is and touch on the different ways it is celebrated and acknowledged. Lucky for you, this program will be held indoors. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 912-400-24, and that's on Wednesday, December 21st from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock a.m. at Walter Reed Community Center, 2909 16th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Our next event is an installment of Movies at Aurora Hills. It's a chance to enjoy classic and modern movies with fellow 55 plus friends. This time the movie is Scrooged from 2016. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 912-804-01, and that's on Friday, December 23rd from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. at Aurora Hills Community Center, 735 18th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Our final 55 plus event comes from the Arlington Public Library. It's a meeting of the Strange Lands Book Club. Their selection this month is This Is How You Lose the Time War by Ammar El-Motar. Now, this isn't all about the problems of getting old. It's not that kind of a time war. You get enough of that already. This is a sci-fi story, and it goes like this. Among the ashes of a dying world, an agent of the Commandant finds a letter, and it reads, "Burn before reading." Thus begins an unlikely correspondence between two rival agents hell-bent on securing the best possible future for their warring factions. Now, what began as a taunt, a battlefield boast, grows into something more. Something epic. Something romantic. Something that could change the past and the future. Except the discovery of their bond would mean death for each of them. There's still a war going on after all, and somebody's got to win that war. That's how war works, right? Anyway, that's the gist of it. New members are welcome. You don't have to read the book to join, but it'll help. This is a volunteer book club. Until further notice, the book club will meet virtually on Zoom. You can register online at the library website to receive an event reminder and to get the Zoom link so you can join. A Zoom account is not required, though. For more information, contact Gaby, that's Gaby, at GSANTAOLLALLA at arlingtonva.us, or just call 703-228-6319. That's on Wednesday, December 21st from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. Now get this, you don't gotta be 55 for this one, and 55 plus membership is not required. This is a virtual event. Anyway, that's all I got for 55 plus news.
Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News will be getting a new producer in the coming months. It has been almost 7 years since the last transition. I thought this would be a good time to take a look back at the original producer, Don Hammond. Here he is in an interview with Rich Masogny.
This perhaps is a great interview for me because I'm talking to the guy who hired me maybe about 30 years ago, and he's been the executive producer of the Arlington Weekly News, Don Hammond. How many years has it been, Don?
Well, let's say 81. You do the subtraction. 34 years, is it?
Something like that.
Yeah, right.
You know, I dare say, knowing something about television around town and all, whether the commercial stations or Access as we are, you have probably been around this longer than anybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I imagine so.
Yeah.
Until someone else claims better.
That's right. That's right. I'm curious. How did you get started, and why did you get started in doing? Was it always the Arlington Weekly News, or was it something else?
Well, when we first started out in '81, we got our show and the news in Spanish.
Oh.
Were taped together.
Oh.
And PAC TV was the organization, just a citizens organization.
Yeah, yeah.
That promoted public access. Originated two of those shows. We taped them both on the same night with the same technical crew.
Really?
And so on, right? And we did that for until we got into the 3-camera situation over in George Mason Metro Campus.
Yeah, yeah. And then we moved into this building here. How many years ago do we guess?
Well, that's been about 15, 16
that
years
long,
ago.
Yeah, that long. You know, we don't really know exactly how many people are watching our shows. We're on channel 69, Comcast 69, and also Fios, Verizon, channel 38. And we're on Thursday nights at 6 o'clock, and repeated Saturday morning at 10:30, and then the next Monday night at 8:30 p.m.
Sometimes I understand they show us at 3 in the morning, too.
That's what I understand. Yeah, that's what I understand. I haven't seen it, but it probably is the case. You know, they have something to fill in. What does it take, Don, in these times to produce a show? I have a pretty good idea being around you and around the crew and all that, but you've got a crew that's been working with you and us for some time.
Yeah,
sometime.
That's correct. Well, that's what we rely on, don't we?
Yes, yes, yes.
We couldn't do it without the help of a dozen other people who you don't see on camera generally.
And there's so many talented people. For example, behind camera right now, taking a picture of us, is Bill Calder. He's been with CBS and all that, so he's an experienced guy. And then there's, I can't name them all, but there's Hef Munson.
Right.
He's directed the show sometime around here, and
right.
I know there's a lot of talent,
yeah.
because I had a little stint on, not for long, a few months on Channel 9, and to be honest with you, I mean, I don't know what they showed that's so greater than what we do.
Right.
You know, this is what changes have you seen over the years? You know.
Well, on the technical side,
yeah,
we started out originally with 3/4 inch. They called it U-matic tape.
Okay.
which I think it was generally used by industry mainly. Back in 1981, there weren't any tape machines were just coming into being. Remember beta tape?
Sure, sure.
Those were just coming into being at those times. So then we switched, when we came into this studio, we switched to what they call beta, beta SP.
Oh, okay.
I was a half-inch tape. And then about, I don't know exactly, we went to mini DV tape.
Oh.
These are all tapes that people could use on their home cameras. And then just a couple of years ago, we went tapeless. So we got a machine to record on now, something other than tape.
You know, really, a lot of talented people who work on this show. I mean, you know, they get, all of them have some background, you know, and then they bring that experience to here to the access station, and I'm very funny about this. We don't have much time, but I'm very funny about this. I feel that access, which gives opportunity for the irregular person to possibly come on the show, you know. But the talent is the camera guys, everybody else, you, all of them, the guys in the control room there, Jay and others, and Cam, are so talented that they could very easily be doing the same thing at a network television station.
Yeah, imagine, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I've known many of those people. So anyway, I want to thank you very much, Don, for being the executive producer, and I wish you'd do another 30 or 300 years, you know. Right?
Well, I'll probably be rolling over in whatever they say by then.
Well, I want to thank Don Hammond very much for taking the time out to talk to us about the show. So I want to say goodbye. Thank you, Don, very much. This is Rich Masabny.